Imagine a world where everything you relied on to be certain came crashing down, where you moved to a strange place in an industrialized city to build a new home in hope of a better life with more opportunities. But in reality, this place was no better than the one you left behind. It was dirty, crowded, and impoverished, where the excitement of war was just an illusion that was quickly shattered by the extensive destruction of trench warfare in World War I. There were children, husbands, and fathers that were lost. Where the concerns from the war were overtaken when World War I ended, leading the world into the prosperous 20s, and the people became rich through the stock market. But unfortunately, this was a temporary state that collapsed when the American stock market crashed, engulfing the people into the Great Depression. Rural countryside farmers fell deeper into poverty, while unemployment reached unimaginable levels, leaving society with emotions of distress and discouragement. This was the environment in which the historical works documenting the Great Depression were created by the American photographer named Walker Evans. Walker Evans was renowned for capturing ordinary people in their everyday activities, and sometimes without them even knowing. He created works that were literate, authoritative, and transcendent through time. Evans addresses society's emotions of desperation that were caused by urbanization's invasion of nature and the economic downfall of the Depression. In the photo, Main Street, Saratoga Springs, New York, the scarcity of the trees allows the natural light that is reflecting off the center of the street to appear more prominent, while the illumination fades away the road at the end of the photo. The sparse amount of trees representing how nature is being overtaken by man-made objects surrounding it, while their bending, curving shapes seem defeated and structureless, paralleling the state of society. But in amidst these negative emotions, the light on the road that leads into empty space portrays how the future is unwritten and is determined by how humanity decides to not only control urbanization from destroying nature, but also creating a balance between them. Evans drew attention to the oppressive feelings that people experienced from the Depression when it disrupted the order of society. It had hit all social classes, which led people to feel a loss of individuality and personal identity. The focus on the damage site in the photo creates clear definition, which shows the empty light sockets and contrasts with the unidentifiable men with blurred faces who seem petite in comparison to the structure. The men's faces and bodies have been blurred to show the insignificance of their individual identities and position in society because of the Depression's widespread effect on every class. The empty light sockets reflect the state of the men who have lost their purpose in life and how humanity has been trapped in an aimless path. As people began to feel isolated, Evans documented how this emotion caused people to reflect on themselves in search of ways to improve and free themselves from oppression. The three men sit side by side eating their sandwiches individually, but gaze separately outside the window in observation of others on the bustling street. Although the men sit together, there's no communication between them, displaying the disconnection of society. The window is symbolic of a glass cage that restricts the men who are trapped inside and want to escape from oppression, but the reflection on the outside displays the crowded urban life of the city, which is not any better than their current conditions. This suggests that in order to rediscover themselves and find liberation from oppression, they must escape from the confining limits of the city first and search for their own identity. Evans photographs a couple sitting alone in their car, while in the background there are blurred cars passing by, creating an effect that there are no people driving in the cars or walking in the streets. By blurring the background, Evans accentuates the relevance of the people around the couple and how they are stuck in a time where people have become so caught up in the world around them that they lose their time to reflect on themselves. By slowing down, focusing on their own situations, and re-establishing their individuality, people gain the ability to free themselves from the oppression of society. In a photo of a farmer's wife, her expression is clearly focused on by the light shining from the right, highlighting her eyes and accentuating both her pursed lips and the wrinkles on her forehead. Attaining the life a person has is not only the result of making difficult decisions when worldly issues create anxiety in their lives, but also utilizing the pain they feel in order to sustain hope and determination to achieve a better and happier place in life. This concept is reflected in the photo where the woman's pursed lips express her worry for her family after the Depression hit, while her wrinkles represent the stress she feels to find the best route to regain the life they used to have. Evans captures Katie Tinkle's ragged, dirty, makeshift dress that is dimly lit in contrast to the little girl who stands above her on the porch wearing a stark white dress. The darker colors emphasize the unforgettable, unfortunate history of the Depression that has affected the woman, while the new generation, symbolized by the girl in the white dress, is leaving this time of trouble behind them. Although the woman isn't able to provide herself with pleasant, clean clothes, she makes an effort to ensure her daughter does, representing humanity's dedication to create a promising, prosperous future that will support their children, in hope that new opportunities will arise for them. The character of the people who have experienced devastating hardships is not defined by their impression that their unpleasant outer appearances might give, but their strong will to bring change. Evans examines people's ability to use their emotions that are caused by their difficult issues in life to ultimately achieve freedom from oppression and seek a better life. Without the support of emotions, humanity would become engulfed by urbanization and lose meaning in life. People would become machines, blindly following the world as it changed without having their own ambitions. Life would become meaningless and suppressed. When focusing on improving oneself, people should utilize their passions and emotions to remind themselves of what they are working for: happiness.